Budgeting with purpose means setting goals that align with what you're wanting to accomplish. So some of these goals can be things such as paying off your credit card debt, saving up for your emergency savings, saving up for a house, maybe saving up for a trip, or paying off your car. Hello everyone, and welcome to The Budget Dad with Isaac. I am married with a little baby girl currently that's pushing 2 years old, and we have another one on the way. And I love budgeting. I love talking about money. I probably talk my wife's ear off way too much about budgeting and money. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And specifically in today's video, we're going to be going through the different categories that we use as a family, and specifically what we do to budget with purpose, with goals we've set, and with things that we want to accomplish. Alrighty, everybody. This is the exact budget template that my wife and I use for our budgeting, and it has worked really well for us as we've set goals. This has helped us achieve real results from the goals we have set. Budgeting is purely a tool to reach the goals you have, okay? And so we have decided on 20 different categories here, as you can see. If you need to pause and look at it, that's fine. But when you're starting a budget, the first thing you need to come up with is whatever your planned income is, okay? And then you need to figure out what you're going to spend. And usually this will take going a couple months of tracking your expenses and figuring out how much you spend roughly on each category, okay? And so here are ours. We'll go ahead and go through them and then talk about how this can create real results for you based off of your goals. So the first one we have here is groceries. And then bathroom. We do separate bathroom from groceries. You can put that together, I guess, if you want. But bathroom varies. Rent, of course, utilities, eating out. This is a really interesting one. I've read and done a lot of research on this, that people typically spend $200, $300, $400 a month on eating out. Like, it's this wide range, but people spend a lot. And that is, if you're struggling like paycheck to paycheck or wanting to save a bit more money, look at your eating out spend. Phone bill. That's an interesting one. If you have a high phone bill, maybe taking a look at other providers, seeing if you could get a better deal. Donations. This comes from whether church donation, you're donating to a charity, whatever that may be. Friends and family. This, for us, this is like if we're giving a gift to a family member or friend, or we're having people over for dinner, whatever the cost of that meal is to have people over for dinner. Gas, this is just the gas you're putting in your car, simple. Insurance, this can come from your life insurance, your car insurance, or if you have separate health insurance from the place you work, whatever. Car maintenance, you gotta have this with your oil changes, you get a flat tire, etc. Subscriptions, surprisingly, people typically spend around $100 a month on subscriptions is what I found. Another good place to cut some things out and save maybe $50. Miscellaneous. Anybody who has experience in budgeting knows random things come up every single month. And so a miscellaneous category is super, super important. An example of something miscellaneous could be, for example, our rubber scraper for like cooking and baking recently was tearing and breaking, and we're like, okay, we need a new one, and we weren't expecting that. And so that went into our miscellaneous category. It was like maybe $8 for like 3 rubber scrapers, okay? But as well, sometimes you can plan, just a note on this, you can sometimes plan for miscellaneous things that don't really have a great category. And so you can plan like, oh, we're going to need more in miscellaneous category than normal because we need to pay for this, whatever it is. Medical, this is your co-pays for doctor visits, dental, vision, whatever. That's what that is. Date night, just what it sounds like. A trip. Trip is super important. We all go on trips for family reunion, or maybe you're going to Disneyland, you're going to England. It's really important in trip that you include not just what you're spending on the trip for like food and your hotel and whatever, but also your gas. You include your gas in this trip budget as well, everything you spend on the trip. And then for your children, if you're getting them new clothes, if you're signing them up for soccer. And then fun money, if you do have the money to do that and you want to give you and your significant other some little fun play money, you can set aside money for that. And then we have an investing category as well, which currently we are using this to save up for a house. But then even then on this budget, as you can see here, our planned income is $5,000 and our planned spend is about $4,500. And so we are planning to have a net almost $500 extra dollars. And this is where your budgeting with purpose and the goals you've set all comes into play, and where you can get real results. If you plan and are disciplined with entering in your expenses and doing this on a daily, weekly basis, you can say, okay, I have $4,000 in credit card debt. So all of this extra money, let's say you're saving $500 a month, I'm going to take that money and put it towards my credit card every single month. Or you're saving up for a trip that's $2,000. Every single month, I'm going to take this money and put it towards my trip, okay? And this is going to obviously look so different for everyone. Some of you are living paycheck to paycheck or have hardly anything left over, and I get that. My wife and I have been there. It still is not easy for us. But if you plan with purpose and you start to go through these categories, like if you're literally paycheck to paycheck and you start to go through these categories, you'll see and little things here and there where you can save $20 here, you can save $30 here, $10 here, and it adds up. And if you're disciplined with your goals and you really want to reach those goals by doing these little things, it will create real results. Budgeting is just a tool to help you reach those goals. I will reiterate that over and over again. So to quickly recap, let's just briefly go over what it looks like to budget with purpose. So first off, you need to sit down and go over, kind of track what your monthly expenses are going to be. Once you do that, you need to separate them out into categories. And if you're someone who does have money left over at the end of each month, that's where setting goals of what you're wanting to accomplish, that's where that extra money is going. If you're someone who does not have very much left over, just a little bit, or paycheck to paycheck, or maybe you're losing a little bit each month and you're living off some extra savings or some help, that's where you really need to break down those categories once you track your spending and see where you can save some money. Alrighty everyone, thanks for joining in with the Budget Dad with Isaac today. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe if you're wanting to see more content like this. We will see you next time.